So, this is the March 13th update, and today is Friday. Now, I did trade today, and I also have a shift at Domino's too from 5 to 10 p.m. today on this Friday night, so that should be fun as well. Yeah, I did trade today, and I'll show you the trades right now. I don't know why it's so loud whenever I flip the camera like this. I know it's probably annoying, but anyways, I'm in the gym parking lot, so I'm filming it on my laptop. But as you can see, $461.75 profit today, and that is across all three accounts as well, as you can see. And then, yeah, as I said, $461.75. And then the trades I took today start right here. So you can see that mine is $55 if it'll focus. That was actually weird because I was just sitting there kind of zoned out almost, and I was just kind of sitting there moving my mouse around, and then I blinked and all of a sudden it put me in a trade on accident, and so I closed that instantly. So I kind of started the day down, but not on purpose obviously. But as you can see here, and then these top three, these are real trades, and as you can see on this one, let's see if it'll focus, 337, 160, 56, 25. And so yeah, that was the profit for today. And if we go over to the calendar, as you can see, the total balance in each account right now is $1,300. So 1,300 times 3 pretty much. And then as we can see here on the calendar, that's the calendar for this week so far. Like I said, I started these accounts on Wednesday, and you can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the total for this week across all three accounts, like I said, $1,300. So that's pretty solid. And as you can see, I kind of messed with this spreadsheet a little bit. But here's all the dates tracked. And remember, this is when I blew the first single account. If it'll focus. And then that's the total. So far up to date, as of March 13th, I'm up $4,383.29, which is really good. And then as you can see, this is when I started 3 XFAs. And yeah, like I said, I have a shift at Domino's tonight, and it's a Friday too, so it should be a lot of fun. I'll try to film that if I can, even film it like a delivery or something. And yeah, that's the update so far, and I will pick this back up after the Domino's shift. So, one thing before I forget again, which I forgot the last 2 days, that payout did come through. You've probably been wondering, these past like 2 episodes of why I haven't shown that yet. I've actually just been forgetting, and I almost forgot again today. As you can see, that was the March 6th is when I requested it, that $1,400 payout and $1,401 payout. And as you can see, these first steps went through pretty quick, like March 6th, if it'll focus, March 6th, and then March 11th at 4 a.m. that started. And then as you can see, funds sent, $1,400, and then funds sent on March 11th, 4:11 p.m. That actually got sent while I was at Domino's, and so it's kind of funny just sitting at Domino's and getting a $1,400 payout, Yeah, so that's pretty nice. And yeah, now I'll pick this up after the Domino's shift tonight. So this is the after of the Domino's shift for Friday, March 13th, and yeah, I just completed the shift. It is 10:30 right now, and I'm currently driving home. I just left. So hours was obviously 5 to 10, but I did stay later because I had to wash a bunch of dishes. That wasn't that fun. But yeah, so 5 to 10:30, so basically 5.5 hours or so. So that would be $55, because $10 an hour, yeah. So $55 from hours alone. I did about 60 miles, which is a little bit more than I usually do. I usually average around like 40 to 50 miles, but I did 60 miles this night. So that was like basically 60 times 0.43 cents a mile, whatever that was. But I ended up total walking out tonight, because obviously you don't know how this works at like pizza deliveries and stuff. They give you cash every night for your miles and your tips. And tips, I couldn't really see how much I did because the app was glitching. But I made $90 total cash from tips and mileage alone. So if you want to do that math, you can. So yeah, I walked out with $90 tonight, which is a new record for one day. It's a Friday, obviously. It was really, really busy, pretty much the entire night. It's like the busiest night that I've worked so far, and also the craziest night as well. And the top just flew by me. I don't know if, obviously, you probably couldn't see that, but yeah, so had a lot of fun tonight. Really busy night, which I was kind of counting my receipts, and I only had like 8 receipts, so I'm assuming that cop just flashed somebody. They just keep flashing them, but yeah, sorry, that caught me off guard. But yeah, what I was saying is I think I did anywhere from 8 to 9 deliveries tonight, which isn't a whole lot. That now I'm thinking about it, that's usually about the average. But they were all like back to back to back. Like I'd pull up to the store and they'd be like walking me out a whole nother order already. And yeah, complete busy night, slam packed, and it was like a chaotic night too, because like the ovens in these places, it's basically just kind of like a conveyor belt kind of style, and like obviously the pizza just slowly goes through it, if that makes sense. The pizza, the bites, whatever, and pretty much everything that goes in there. It's kind of like just a slow conveyor belt, and it's called catching the oven. Well, I guess the people who were making the stuff, putting it in the oven, and the person who was catching the oven, basically everything got messed up at one point, and all the orders were all messed up. Everything was, just not in the right order. And it became chaotic because, like I said, the rush happened kind of all at once. And with the oven messed up like that, there was, all the orders were all mixed up together. You couldn't tell what was what. I didn't really catch a lot of that because I was, like I said, out on the deliveries, just back and forth. But so I wasn't really in the store while that was going on. But, I kind of caught glimpses of it for a second. And yeah, that was a complete mess up. There's a bunch of orders that were all jumbled up together. Yeah, that was pretty rough because it was also like people walking in the store, like, picking up orders and putting orders in and stuff. And so, yeah, everybody was just kind of running back and forth. And like I said, with the orders like that, and the customers walking in, and it was just I don't know, it wasn't the best. And, yeah, there was stuff like literally just falling out of the oven. Like, cause there's 3 layers to it, and the bottom layer is like way down at the bottom, and you don't really use that one because it's never really that busy. But some nights you do, like on the weekends and stuff. And he was catching the top 2 ovens, but he didn't look at the 3rd one, and he was missing something out of his order. And when the manager looked down, the last part of his order literally just slid right out the oven and just into the floor pretty much. And so that's where like his order, the last part of it was. And so they had to like remake that and redeliver a bunch of stuff, and they had to redo a lot of stuff, a lot of carryouts and a lot of deliveries. People had to redeliver and stuff. So yeah, it was a pretty chaotic night tonight. Like I said, I'll show you this cop right here. Yeah, hopefully that caught that. Yeah, this place it's a crazy night tonight for a Friday night. All the stuff going on. Yeah, like I said, new record for tonight, $90 from tips and mileage alone, plus $55 for the hours I worked. And I really wasn't in the store that much, because like I said, I was just out on deliveries most of the time, and some of them were pretty far away. But yeah, I did a ton of dishes, set a new record for that too. Yeah, had a lot of fun, and that's basically it for this Friday, March 13th episode after the Domino shift. Oh yeah, and I do have, which I haven't had too many like crazy delivery stories yet, because I haven't been here that long, obviously. And some of the people there, they do have crazy stories, but yeah, I've had like a couple sketchy ones where I was like kind of like a little nervous, even walking up to the door. But there was this one. It's kind of like a house with like a separate kind of garage, shop, separate, little house kind of thing. And I walked up to the house, knocked on the door, and when the person answered, they were like, "Oh no, it goes over there." But it's still like the same, obviously property and stuff. It was just, you know, like 10 feet away. So I walked over there, kind of knocked on the door, and there's like this older gentleman, probably. Well, there was 3 people in there. There's probably like 2, probably around 60-year-olds in there, and then like one, maybe, I don't know, 40-year-old. I didn't really see him. Yeah, I knocked on the door. He told me to kind of like open the door, you know, obviously bring it in. And I did that, and kind of like when I stepped like near the doorway, there was one of the 60-year-olds. It was probably like mid-60s. He was in like, and they had like a whole hangout spot, like a big old couch. They had gaming chairs and desks and stuff. Like I said, like maybe the, I don't know, 40-year-old was just kind of laying on the couch, and there were some dogs, but the 2 like 60-year-olds, they were like playing video games. Like one of them was on Spotify when I walked in, like picking songs, and the other one in the background had like just got out of a game of something. I don't really know what game it was. They had like gaming keyboards, headsets, and everything. So that's a first. I mean, I've never really seen, you know, obviously elderly people, you know, play video games. But yeah, they told me to come in, and I delivered the pizza. I was like, dang, that's a cool hangout spot. And yeah, I'm still a little sick, by the way. Not sick, but I just got a cough now, which is kind of annoying. It's just a dry cough. Yeah, anyways, when I handed him, or the guy in the back was the one, I guess, who ordered the pizza because he was coming to grab it. But the guy sat right there at the door. Like I said, they were probably, you know, mid-60s around there. And he was like, "Oh no, I ordered 2 blondes and a redhead." And in my head, as soon as he said like I ordered, I just got my mind kind of started racing. I was like, dang, I hope I didn't like leave something out, or, and I didn't really think about it at the time. Yeah, he said I ordered 2 blondes and a redhead. And I guess at the time in my head I just heard colors somehow. And I was kind of confused, and like the other 65, you know, mid-60s, he was like, don't confuse the guy. And I was like, I don't know, I have no clue what they're talking about. Well, as soon as I walked out the door and I was walking back to my car, then it clicked. Now, I'm not going to explain that one to you, because if you can't already tell what they mean by that, then you probably shouldn't know. Yeah, that was just kind of like one of the weirdest deliveries I've ever seen. You know, 2 older gentlemen sitting there playing video games and gaming chairs and keyboards and headsets. And yeah, when he said that, it caught me off guard at first, and it didn't click until I was walking back to my car. So that's just kind of like one crazy story I have so far. I'm sure I'll run into many more. Yeah, it was a pretty just action-packed night, pretty fun. Like I said, I had a great morning trading as well, and pretty much had a great night here. It is now it's 10:43, so still got like a 50-minute drive home as well. And I'm sure I'll probably pick the camera up, you know, maybe a couple more times on the way home. Yeah, as of now, this is the end of the March 13th update, and I do have a shift tomorrow, Saturday night, 5 to 10 p.m. again. And hopefully it's as busy with the deliveries, but not with the chaotic part, because that was just kind of annoying. And yeah, that's the end of the March 13th update.